our president to travel like a Yana ball. It's quite unfortunate that some of our folks have not even gone anywhere. The longest distance I've ever traveled probably is to Kakata or maybe to my village in Bayan Statutory District in Sino. So they don't know that travel indemnities are very huge, most especially for the president. So I take for example, this will tell you, if you have a delegation of like 18 persons and you be a state visa or whatever visa go on, the host country, in most cases, do not bear 100%, almost in the case of the trips I've made with this president, they don't shoulder 100% indemnities or responsibility for you. Take for example, they will tell you, like when we went for the ECOWAS summit, a broader summit, let me just not limit to a single country. They were responsible for what? The president and TD, so they say 1 plus 3. All other members of the delegation, they are responsible for it. Do our people really take into consideration what happens? We even go as far as sometimes hiring cars on our own. So, what I'm saying short, I'm not going to give you, like, because what the guy makes up in the first place, like some of the documents I saw posted, it said X was Z. It said my padam was going to be like 1,003 or this and that. I got 600 plus. They took the invoices from a trip where we lasted much longer, where you have to pay hotel. That was the trip when we went for the Nigeria trip, and included into the trip for Guinea, and said these are the people that are traveling. So if you observe keenly, you saw two or three names repeating. People know these facts, but sometimes they want to mislead our people who do not have this basic information, people who have not traveled, people who do know exactly what it entails.
So let me bring you to other very important question. The president traveled to some part of last year during the inception of his government. The president traveled to China. A lot of people raised concern, but the returns from China was very huge. Very soon we'll begin to see the construction of an overpass, 2 overpass bridges connecting from Boulevard Junction all the way to the new ministerial complex. What should Liberians expect from this visit that you were part of the delegation to Guinea?
Our trip to Guinea was according to what the president termed it. It's not just rewarding, it wasn't just a success, but it is a blessing to Liberia.
Okay.
First, before we look at because most people want to see financial gains, investment opportunities. But before I discuss that, let me tell you the essence of having peace. All of the crises we have had in Liberia, our neighboring countries were very, very instrumental, either in fielding or playing deaf ears with them. You cannot be a neighbor to Guinea and you don't want to have a genuine, enhanced ties. Then you want to what? Bring what you call distant people, either the European or the Westerners, to be your close friends. Probably most of you know history than I do. But when we had the crisis in 1979, Reds rallied. Who were those soldiers that were chasing people from the streets? They were not Liberian soldiers. They were soldiers from our neighboring countries because of the relationship they had then with the president. We saw that in the case of Tottenham, with Tottenham. And then though we know history tells us, and what we see, you know the birth of the very factions, where they came from. So the president thought that it is wise enough, it is prudent enough that all of our neighboring friends, we have a tie with them, not just on paper. The last president to have visited Guinea was our former president, Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. She went there, tried to tell them, at least to rekindle relationship. and some deeds were struck. But what happened? After that visit, nothing materializes. Because what? Certain things were not met. That kind of a relationship, what people look up to, the faith wasn't there. So, they had an agreement where iron ores and other stuff will be transported from Guinea to the port of Buchanan or wherever existing ports at the time. They left from there and came back to Liberia. Since 2013, nothing happens. So the president feels that peace and security is very essential. So you need to pay a visit to your friends, to your neighbor, and trash out what has been the problem. And these are the things that the president and his counterpart, Professor Alpha Conde, were discussing. And at the end, they were very fruitful. In the first place, you read from the papers, our president was decorated with the Grand Cross of Order, Merit Award, because they said naturally he's a man of peace. They believe he is the only one so far that can push what you call genuine peace and security within the region, not just between us and Guinea. So most of the conferences you go to, some people will say proudly because he has a lot of followers in this country. Like Professor Alpha Conde said, that if our president was a Guinean, he would not run against him because he's the choice of the people. He would definitely win. So, looking at what is unfolding in Guinea at this point in time, he believes the only person that can help to prevent what maybe other people are saying from early warning signs, he could be the one. And this is why the president tried to take advantage of what he wants. Because in life, it's interest. You give and take.
Okay, before going to the issue of economic benefit that we may have maybe yielded from the trip, let's talk about security. What were some of the key things that the both leaders talked about or reached in terms of trying to solidify their own countries?
Security is not just about armor. Well, what is cardinal to security? When you have threats, you have the hide, Islamic insurgents, you have terrorists all going around the region. And what matters most is the exchange of intelligence. That was cardinal, that was key. They talk about having exchanging of vital information, even to the extent that offering to train some of our security personnel on the line of how to monitor terrorists, how to track down Islamist extremists, and these are the things that we discuss. They also discuss issue because this is why sometimes when the president travels, I know probably you don't want me to go there, but let me tell you.
Yes, go there.
When the president travels, he's not just going with people to tote his bags. He goes with people who are sectorial in terms of discussion. You go to discuss legal matter, then you leave legal matter because your country or people will tell you that your delegation is huge, then you leave the justice minister behind? No. So the president traveled with people from the security apparatus. The minister of justice was there, and other people from other sectors that probably for some reasons you can't call, but they were there. He went to discuss mining issue. The Minister of Mines and Energy should be there. He was there. So all of the delegation people say it is huge and this and that. He goes with people that will make decisions. Those technical and people who will be able to advise him properly on this issue because they are experts in those areas.
Okay, let's dismiss the issue of delegation being huge because we know that's propaganda. But the security that they spoke about in terms of exchanging intelligence and training opportunities for even our security personnel in getting them prepared for whatever eventualities. Do we know as to how soon those sort of opportunities will come about for our country?
It's left with what Liberians want.
Okay.
those guys, the Guinean government, when they met with our president and delegation, they were very emphatic. In the next 2 weeks, you will have another team coming on the ground to finalize the arrangement as to when these discussions or when these things can be implemented. So we want something, they want something. The best thing to do is to collaborate as soon as it's possible. So I can tell you next year, tomorrow, but when the team comes and meet with those they should meet, then when trainings will be held, how soon, because intelligence is very important. If you don't know how to share it, it's another thing. Who you share with is another thing. So whether they are going to create their own shared drive, whether they are going to set up whatever mechanism that needs to be worked out by them. So they are coming to work out the modalities.
Now, I'm sure when the president met his Guinean counterpart, there was this first comment that he made. I'm sure the Guinean leader asked as to what situation like back home. What did the president say to his Guinean counterpart?
So what I think you will note, or probably our neighbors or the world is watching. They have their own ambassadors here on the ground. They get information on things that are unfolding. And his Guinean counterpart, Professor Condé, was very pleased to receive George.
Okay.
First, the president was commended for stands taken. Stands such as what? Promoting democracy.
Okay. Good governance.
Good governance. Freedom of speech.
Transparency.
Transparency. That's what they were talking about. It is obvious that we have challenging times when it comes to the economy.
Surely.
And so all those things, they are aware of them, but the president always re-echo what happens in Liberia and what can be done to improve our economy.
Okay.
So the president's main message to his Guinean counterpart is that no matter how bad our economy is, once we have peace, once we can maintain peace and security, all other things will fall into place. So his message he was preaching was peace. Peace. Because we have crisis in Liberia, it spilled over to Sierra Leone. It spilled over to some part of Ivory Coast. Even Guinea also had a problem. There were a lot of Liberians that were in prison in Guinea when we had crisis here.
Mm-hmm.
Not, I'm talking about Contoba era, not even though. So, the fact that Ome is gone, yet the president is able to maintain peace and security within Liberia was laudable. So, the honor that was given him, he was decorated with a peace medal. His ability to talk peace at ECOWAS Summit, at AU, wherever he went, to talk about peace, to talk about people observing the rule of law, was encouraging. Some people might say, he's being accused. Well, being accused is not improving. Not improving. And if the president went wrong anywhere, he's always listening to consult and listen to people and make the rightful decisions.
I'm sure on the issue of accusation, it's not proven, like you said, and there's no way actually that one can associate the president with previous instabilities we had when you don't have the proof. But on the issue of the economy, getting economic outcome from the visit, what is it you think that we stand to accrue as a result of the Guinean meeting?
Well, we have, in the first place, we don't have what you call free flow of goods and people between here and there because you do not have a direct flight. By roads, you don't even have good roads. That's one aspect. The next thing is that the president is pushing for direct flight here to have a conducive means of transporting goods and services when necessary, free movement of our people. Then you come to the mining sector, where Guineans, where they have their old site, their bauxite site, to transport it is closer to the port of Buchanan than the port of Conakry. They have just entered into an agreement to transport their product from Conakry to Liberia through the port of Buchanan. Yesterday we had a visiting team. We have John Andrew Henry Forrest. He worth $7.4 billion from Australia. He runs the world's fourth largest metal group.
He's an investor.
He's an investor. They have a partnership with the Dubai Roger family company they call Al Maktoum. They were here yesterday because they have concluded arrangements and other concessionary contracts with Guinea. Now, they want to do the raid, first of all, to upgrade the raid that we have through the port of Buchanan, because when that rail was being built, it was probably for some light movement of trains. So they want to upgrade it to modernize it. Besides, they are willing to build a new rail from that site to the port of Buchanan. The Al Maktoum group of companies also have ties with a port wall, DP Port Wall, to upgrade the port and expand it. Even to the point, if the Liberian government is willing for the construction of new port, they are going to do it at no cost to the Liberian government. And the Liberian government stands to immediately get revenue from day one of the operation should that be. So yesterday, they were able to reach and signed a memorandum of understanding. These same guys were also in Guinea.
Okay.
And so it was not like somebody from Guinea coming to tell the president and then these people come. No. Every one of them, the technical committee, sat with the people
In Guinea.
And they had this discussion. After that, the Guinean Prime Minister, the President, and our President, and 3 other ministers key to decision making were there. And they deliberated on what they want.
Okay.
All these guys want is to be given access to see where they want to explore beside the rail and thing. They are interested in Putu, although Putu was given to another company, but that is being arranged and will be discussed at that level. They are also interested in taking over the Western cluster. That where you have Pre-Redeha, the LLOC and SYZ. So those things, they will have to send their own people, look at them, what they can offer, go to Putu and make the necessary assessment. If the Liberian government was to say we want to erect rail, in the next 20 years from now you may not have money to raise to do that. I'm not swearing Liberia, but we don't have that. So someone wants to do your rail that will cost you millions and millions of dollars. Then you want to crucify somebody for 155,000, 200,000. Are you looking at the jobs that will be created? Guineans are not coming.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you.
Guineans are not coming. It will be Liberia. And what the people want? The people want you to have a system, a simple system, what you call e-governance.
Okay.
Where everything will be done on a portal. So I do not have to go to Finance Ministry to do registration. I go online, go to this ministry site. If I have to pay using my card, pay everything, I get my receipts. Everybody see what is going on. So it's not like a bogus group coming. It's not like 419ers. No. Somebody is willing to pay you new ports. Rehabilitating our own ports is a challenge. And somebody want to offer you this. So there are immense benefits. So but even the inconvenience of travel alone, you want to go to Guinea, for example, you don't have a direct flight from here to Guinea. Do you know what happened? The last flight I ever went to Guinea, it came from France and landed in Guinea. Conakry, passengers on board coming towards Liberia. Because of our crisis, or what the people think will happen, they stopped the flight. No one passenger, even their own citizen, could not disembark from that flight. It was sent back. So today, the travel routes, you leave from here, you go to Africa to Burkina Faso, then you come down to Togo before you go to Guinea. Is that what you want? Tell me, is that what you want? So we need to have this kind of ties. People should not just look at money. The first trade the president made to France, I was not in government at the time. They cry. What they gave them? $20 million. $20 million. But guess what happened? When the president talked about trying to fix inheriting broken economy, that $20 they World Bank and IMF through they said the government owed them, Liberian government at the time owed them, and that money went straight back. So yes, our economy is hard. Yes, $100, $200, $300 may be too much of money, but let's look at the end product. What we hope to gain, or what are we gaining?
All of these good things that you just mentioned, as part of the MOU, when are these programs going to kick off? Like the projects?
Well, probably I may not have good memories, but when I try to record a little bit, what I do remember from Andrew Forrest, I don't want to read all this English name, John Henry Forrest. He said he wants to start tomorrow. Tomorrow doesn't mean ready tomorrow, but once the government and him can work out the various modalities, he's ready to start. He told the people that he has come to help Liberia from being exploited by other nations. I don't know what that means. He has come to help grow our economy. He has come to help build a future for the children of Liberia. He told our ministers, our journalists that were present, that he does not have to consult Washington to take decision. He does not have to call London to take a decision. The decision was right within the room. He and His Royal Highness Ahmed Maktoum. So what I'm just saying, overemphasizing that he's ready for business, and he's hoping that he clearly said, if the first shipment can be done before the turn of year, you'll be the happiest.
Now,
so that's a time frame that he said up to before the end of December, we should see maybe train coming, iron ore coming from that side.
Mr. Press Secretary, it's a good move on the part of the president and the government. But when these sort of news when these sort of news break up, it has the tendency of raising the hope of our people, especially the ordinary one. And they feel that by tomorrow things should begin to work for them. So what is next now on the plate of His Excellency and that of the government, and it's showing that the deal may be reached with these investors, the deal begin to yield a sort of fruit for our people to see?
Well, what I can tell you for sure is that the president has mandated his cabinet ministers and his sectoral working group to do the needful. Okay, they have their representative to be in the country. He has made the necessary request for visa, for resident permit for the time being, and then he'll start to work out those things. Mind you, I don't think our president will want to be the one to sign a deal today and tomorrow it becomes issue.
Surely.
So you want all the parties connected to do their best to make sure they work with them, because this is a dream too big to come through in a short period of time. Building railroad, expanding the port, and you want to start exporting iron ore, transporting iron ore through from Guinea in the first place, because until our own mines issue can be settled, the first phase will be to see how iron ore can be transported from Guinea through the port of Buchanan. And these guys are saying they want it to happen before the end of December. So it's left with our government, with our representatives, with our senators, and every Liberian to play their part. Why do I say every Liberian? Because sometimes when things are unfolding, then people said the economy is hard, times are hard, prices are hard. But I mean, I may not be that old, but I'm old enough to know that from the time this country gained her independence, the prices have not been the same. The price of zinc during turbulent time was not the same as the price of zinc on the top. Neither under all the other transitional government before Chancellor and Ellen. So that people should know. We see clearly things that are happening, and people want to play deaf ears. So probably you don't want to say you want to say I'm taking up your time, but what do we see in our market? Every bank note we have, there are two $5, two $10, two $20s, two $50s. And you expect the economy to be suffering? No. So measures need to be taken. The president recommended, constituted the board, because the central bank cannot take certain decisions without 8 full board members. Recently we were told that the Senate rejected the board members, all of them. So if probably we need to write a horse to change bank notes, to take certain economic policies coming from the central bank, you cannot do that because the central bank cannot make certain decisions in the absence of a full constituted board. So we ourselves prolonging some of the sufferings we undergo. The president goes outside, talk to the investor. The next day, people holding placard, United Party are not paid their rent in Banga. Go to court. So United Party, why stand in front of the executive to do what? So let's talk what we're here to talk, and sometimes we make progress. But what I'm saying, short, the people have set a benchmark. We want to see the first train heading to the port of Buchanan with oats from Guinea to what? To Buchanan before the end of December this year. The working committee will work with their team to see how best they can expedite the process to see it happen.
Now, I'm sure you do also have the ears of the president. The fact that you always around him, serving as a spokesperson. Does he sometimes get troubled by, especially trying to make effort to improve on the well-being of our people, to improve the country, to find investors, and with some of the negative comments being made, does he sometimes feel troubled by that?
The president is not really troubled by these things that happen, what people say, because the president's major concern he feels for ordinary people who don't read between the lines. The same day we came from Guinea, people are on social media that the Johnsonville Road the president is building was flooded. So for God's sake, which part of the world when the rains does not experience flood? Even in America, people are evacuated for weeks. Then you say the place flooding. Some of these things are done to discourage.
To distract, is a thing.
To discourage and distract him. No, he's not going to listen to that. He's going to do all he can. He gave his word to the Liberian people that he wants to leave Liberia and forever to be remembered for those good things. He wants to be remembered as the first president who makes sure that a paved road, asphalt road, reached the Grand Crew, reached to my district, Bokongiri, in Bain, Sano County district, goes to Vojima. Every part of the place. Liberia has 12,000, a little over 12,000 kilometer stretch of roads, feeder roads in the country. We have less than 2% of them, less than 4% of them paved. And so somebody wants to pay. Look, if you see somebody meaning well, doing well, you should know. These feeder roads we are doing, so where does the money come from? From the first measure the president took when he announced 25% cutting his salary, and those of the executive. Those monies are the ones being used for the feeder roads. They don't come from any international community. Which of our presidents ever took that decision before? So if you see somebody doing well, if I were you, I would help to buttress his effort in whatever means. When the president left from UAE, we had 22 member delegation that came to Liberia. Really? What do they want to do? They want to invest. The president tabled 3 bills to be ratified that will help them to build, because you need to have that bilateral ties.
Sure.
How long it took at the Senate to be passed? People got to go to lobby to talk to them when it's in the interest of our people. But the president is not going to give up. He's not going to get distracted.
So are you saying that if it has to do with the development of the country and a document or an instrument lent at the legislature, there should be no further investigation or due diligence done?
No.
Okay.
doing due diligence. That's what they are there for.
Okay.
And in fact, the president will be happy that they are taking their own time to go through it, which is good. But tell me,
But the length of time that is
the level of time it takes, it should be our concern. It should look. What I'm saying is short. The development of Liberia should not be left on the shoulders of President Weah alone. It should be the concern of each and every one of us. This is our country. That's what people say. This is our country. Although some people don't see it that way.
And as a result, there should be concerted efforts, especially with the legislature, the executive, that things be done properly. But one question I'm sure I would like to ask you before we open our lines, Mr. Press Secretary. It was somehow reported today, some critical minds reported that the investors are keen. The president took the investors to his private residence, and so I saw that. How factual is that, and if so, what's the rationale?
So,
Yes, sir.
I don't think I can answer this question. Probably that you can help me answer. Do presidents work from the residence?
It doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen. President don't work for the residents. But I know the world over, it do happen. The president has his office at his residence. The last State of the Nation address was done where? At his house. What was the issue?
So there's nothing wrong taking investors there.
There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong. Our concern is to what are the people here? Can they help us? Can they help our people? So let someone tell me and challenge what I'm saying, that presidents don't work for the residents. All of our presidents of our time that I know, they work for the residents. They do work for the residents. Okay? And so this should not be an issue. The president taking them to a house, I think this should be lauded because it take off some burden from the government.
In terms of accommodation and all of that.
Whatever the case may be. There are things the government would have done financially. So,
Are these investors the first biggest so far that came to our country, or we've been having other investors coming in?
well, when it comes to decision makers, people with, I think they speak fluent French, what you call l'argent, moko,
Yeah, the money.
right? The Arabic may say, well, gurus. These are the people that have the money.
Okay.
So what? You can't be seated in a room with somebody worth 7.4 billion. Someone who the last donation he ever made to charitable group was 400 million. After what they did signing the MOU, he visited the blind, the school of the blind, he visited other organizations. Because why? He wants to act, he wants to do things. Then somebody sits in my village and say, these are 419ers. So what I'm saying, to answer your question, yes, from what I see, but in terms of people willing to act and want to act, if they get the support of every Liberian, there are enough outside.
Now, finally, how does the president view, or how is the president convinced, especially when he's supposed to deal with individuals calling themselves investors? Does he just accept them without the due diligence, or he does?
If he was just taking anybody who came dictum and Harry as investor, no need to include technical people, no need to talk to his ambassadors to know. We are of digital age.
Sure.
So it's easier to vet someone, but that may not be enough. So he make use of his diplomatic ties and use those experts that we have. And to be able to help him with the vessel. This is why when he travels, he doesn't travel alone. And this is why we have ambassadors all over the country. And this is why you need to have good friends. Are people insinuating that these people, they will be investors from heaven? in Guinea, but then 419ers when it comes to Liberia? Are they not the same people? Are they saying these people, they are not investors, they don't have money, they don't do business? World fourth largest metal group. Then you say 419ers?
So I'm sure when the deal is consummated, I'm sure over thousands of people, hundreds of thousands, going to get jobs, possibly.
So, the economy of our times, or even in any country, even if you got 2 persons being employed, it's a plus.
Sure.
Those 2 persons, 5 persons, 10 persons, 100 million, thousands, they have mouths to feed. And this is some of the reasons why everybody get agitated, everybody get angry, because this is not happening. If, say for example, I worked for the United Nations mission for 6 years and a half in Liberia, I was helping to pay 1 or 2 person tuition. If I'm out of job, do you expect to pay the tuition?
Not at all.
So that person will feel they are not in school, times are hard. People had the houses that were being rented by international staffs. Some were paying up to 2,000, 1,500, 2,000, 3,000 per month. That money no longer comes. So what happened? Everything is hard. To pay their own bills, paying their own houses, become a problem. So I just want to encourage our people, whether you are in opposition, because so far I'm concerned, the president doesn't care whether you are in opposition or not. This is why even our big opposition here, he personally paid the medical bills, because he doesn't see them as opposition, he sees them as Liberians. So it's good for every one of us to rally around him to make sure that we move this country forward.
Okay, you're listening to the bumper show right here on the OBC 99.9 and other frequencies across Mama Liberia. Our studio guest is the press secretary, Sulu Kelgbeh. That's the press secretary of our country. Sulu Kelgbeh is right here. He's been telling us basically the outcome of the Guinean mission, the Guineans visit. They visit the president conducted along with his delegation to Guinea and the outcome and some of the things that will be happening in the shortest possible time, I'm sure. You're listening to the program. You can begin putting your calls now. Right here, I'm sure my phone lines are already blinking. So let me begin to take calls quickly. Let me take this first one. Hello, caller. Hello? 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 Oh, I'm still trying to... Hello? It's very, very low, very, very low. Do we get... Hello? Okay, we lost this one. Let's take this call on the line. Let's see what we can take this call on the line quickly. Good afternoon.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Your name and where you calling from quickly?
I'm Ashwati, calling from Bashir community.
Let's hear from you.
I want to appreciate our senior brother institute this evening for his splendid presentation on the issues surrounding our president. And I want to encourage the president to continue his good relationship with other countries around so that Liberia can be peaceful state. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. Let's see what we can take this other one quickly. Hello? Hello? Wow, for me difficult with this line. Let's see what we can take this other corner of this line. Hello, caller.
Yeah, good evening.
Yes, Mama. Your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, how are you? This is Sakate calling from Patient Shah.
Okay.
I must magnetize a situation to that particular man that is okay. He has already enlightened my mind. So, Josh, I can tell people for free that people that are castigating this particular government, either president, yeah, they do not mean well for this country. That young man is trying for this country, but people will never appreciate what he's doing. So let him keep up. The world will continue to give him more strength for him to go and lobby for our country. He shouldn't mind what people say from all walks of life.
Okay.
I for free. I don't care what they talk about your dad. This particular man will do this country for 2 years and whether you like it or not, and you will live up and you will take action in this country. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. 0770 0776 089 713. Hello, caller. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, your name and where you calling from quickly.
This is Kogo Kinan speaking from Sudan over here.
Okay, sir. Let's hear from you.
So many thanks to the Honorable Institute for a job well done. We ask that you continue to attract more investors to Liberia. Liberia are urgently in need of job employment. May I ask you a question? There were all agreement or memorandum of understanding that the government went into. For example, the Bali Island, also the Bali Island, the oil bridges that's supposed to be built in the Kumatan area, and also the coastal highway. Will you please let our mind on the outcome? Because up to now we cannot hear about Bali Island, and then the name has been changed to the Indian former Prime Minister, and then nothing has been heard. So will you please go into detail of that also, so the clarify way.
Okay, thank you very much. You will do that before the end of the program. 0776 089 713. Hello? 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 Okay, we lost this caller. Hello? Okay. 0776 089 713, or better still 0880 514 096. That's the numbers to call, and then you are live right here on the bumper show. We're going to take out 2 more calls. Hello, caller? Yes, sir. Your name and where you calling from?
My name is Leonard Moore. I call from the second Boulevard.
Okay, let's hear from you.
I heard your studio guys talking about the Western cluster and that of the Futu mine. Can you please elaborate on it? Because these places was given out to companies before. So will you please elaborate on it? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let's take up the only one more call so far, and then we close up on this one. 0776 089 713, or better still 0880 514 096. 0776 089 713 or 0880 514 096. That's the numbers to call. Okay, let's see what we can get this one quickly. Hello, caller? Hello? Okay, so far so good. Let's go back to our studio guest to respond to some of the concerns they have, and then we close up.
Well,
yes, sir.
Yeah, so thank you, and I think I just want to say it's unfortunate, and my apologies to those who wanted to get to us but couldn't do it because of some technical problems, either from our side or probably from their network connection. But I hope next time they can try. I think there are basically 2 concerns. Somebody asking about Puto Mountain and Western Cluster, and another person talking about what is the progress at Bali Island, and then the name is changed. I think all of these, when it comes to the Bali Island, the coastal highway and the overhead bridges, everything is on course. Nothing has changed. When you talk about Bali Island being renamed after the Indian, I mean Bali is also connected to the India. It's all the Indian government projects. The delay for the Bali Island is that the government has to play a part before they come to do the construction of whatsoever thing they want to do. So government is trying to raise monies to be able to perform all tasks in terms of doing what they want the government to do before. That is also capital intensive, but not more than what the investors, what those coming to do the construction would do. So that is still on the plate. The government, the president and his government were able to work on modalities, and they are able to raise up to 70% of funding for the coastal highway, and they're not waiting to get 100% to commence. But I can tell you for free that the next dry season, we'll start to see people working on that road soon. You are aware that the Chinese government and the Liberian government, like 2 weeks ago, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Western government in Finland, signed an agreement with the Chinese government to come and start construction. And I'm told that sometime this week, the Chinese engineers who should be spearheading that construction are in the country. So we expect some action very soon. When it comes to the western cluster in Putu Mountain, I think I talked about it. That yes, we have Russian companies that are taking Putu money, but there was some default on their part, and the government and their legal teams are working on modality to see how best that can be nullified. And once that is done, then we can look for a potential suitor to do that. So what I'm saying in short, nobody is going to give a contract to say company A, and because company B has money, and give it to company B. Responsible government don't work like that. What a responsible government does is in the interest of our own people. There can be negotiation, either to step certain things up or certain things to be done. So these guys that signed the MOU yesterday with the government, they are not coming to take over any mine immediately until those needful things are done, like some of the technical things we're talking about working out. What we are looking for to see happening in the short term will be the transportation of iron ore or bauxite, whatever name you want to give it, from Guinea through our port. So the first thing we will do will to hire people for the construction and upgrading. First, the upgrading of the existing railways we have.
Yes, truly.
Okay, because when they were built, they were meant to take certain capacity. Now things have changed. You have heavy machines now flying. So they want to upgrade it. The next thing is to build a new rail. Those are the things they are going to do now in the short term. They have their technicians to look at the port. This is why they are asking for certain things. They want e-visa. They don't want to be given, say, visa or resident permit for 1 year. Then every time they come, they have to pay it. Charge them what they want. They pay for that, and it's in the system. So when they come freely. So these are the first steps that when the government take. When that happens, they will start. So they are talking about in the short term, immediately to look at is to upgrade the port, expand the port. Even if it means building a new one, they are willing to do that at no cost to the government. So these are the things we are looking at in the short term. The government is responsible. The government is the government of the Republic of Liberia. The government represents the people of Liberia. They're not going to take decisions, say, I gave Putu Mountain to Sabo, and Sabo is sleeping. Maybe he's in the village making farm. He doesn't want to come to Putu, so I gave it to Boma Vijiba or give it to Solo Kelgbeh because it's so short of growing ballhead. No, that's not going to happen. What is going to happen, people are going to do the legal aspect. They are going to dialogue. They are going to negotiate. And the best will come up for Liberia. That's what matters most.
Finally, how endless is the president's commitment to funding investors to improve his country?
The president,
Better than last was
the president, so objective is that when he leaves the presidency, he should be remembered for positive things. He should be remembered for someone who will revive our economy when all doubts were there. When he inherited a broken economy, he wants to be remembered for someone who carried asphalt road to Bokonjire, beyond Zozo, beyond Vojima, to Kolahun, beyond Senje. So all those things, this is what you want to do. You want to transform Liberia. But he always told people that he cannot do it alone. So what we Liberians, tomorrow the president says 6 years, says 12 years, he's gone. He's not going to mandible the constitution citizen now. He's gone. Somebody else will come on board. The premise you need to set is how well are you working with this government? What you do now, if you are in opposition, is what you should expect will happen to you when your time comes. If we believe our country, it's time to be there for your country. It should not be the president alone going out for investors. Go and lobby, bring investors. Let the government tell you, say, no, you're from opposition. You can. So, okay. So what? I mean, somebody look at you. You go into Guinea and they say your pardon is $600 is too much. $600 is too much. Okay, yes, maybe you're looking at other aspects. But do you want me to go there and live in the street or sleep in the bus? Is that what you want? Then tomorrow say, your president go, people you carry said they can't even enter a hotel. That'd be real, that'd be serious. Okay, so it's a pleasure being in your studio. I'm not saying goodbye if you don't want me to go. But I mean, it's nice being here. This is my first appearance on the Bomber Show. I hope we bumped well.
We did, I'm sure.
Yeah,
we did.
yeah. Everything was.
I just want to appeal to our people. Let's give the best of support to our president, not him as an individual, but him as your president and for our country. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Kelgbeh. He's the presidential press secretary. We hope that we can get to